Scene 3, Antigone. Mr. Vizalis will be reading for Creon, Dr. Solanki will be reading for Haman, and Charagos. But here is Haman, king, the last of all your sons. Is it grief for Antigone that brings him here, and bitterness at being robbed of his bride?
Enter Haman. We shall soon see, and no need of diviners. Son, you have heard my final judgment on that girl. Have you come here hating me, or have you come with deference and with love, whatever I do?
I am your son, father. You are my guide. You make things clear for me, and I obey you. No marriage means more to me than your continuing wisdom.
Good. That is the way to behave, subordinate everything else, my son, to your father's will. This is what a man prays for, that he may get sons attentive and dutiful enough in his house, each one hating his father's enemies, honoring his father's friends. But if his sons fail him, if they turn out unprofitably, what has he fathered but trouble for himself and amusement for the malicious? So you are right, not to lose your head over this woman. Your pleasure with her would soon grow cold, Haman. And then you'd have a hellcat in bed and elsewhere. Let her find her husband in hell. Of all the people in this city, only she has had contempt for my law and broken it. Do you want me to show myself weak before the people, or to break my sworn word? No, and I will not. The woman dies. I suppose she'll plead family ties. Well, let her. If I permit my own family to rebel, how shall I earn the world's obedience? Show me the man who keeps his house in hand. He's fit for public authority. I'll have no dealings with lawbreakers, critics of the government. Whoever is chosen to govern should be obeyed, must be obeyed in all things, great and small, just and unjust, O Haman. The man who knows how to obey, and that man only knows how to give commands when the time comes. You can depend on him, no matter how fast the spears come. He's a good soldier. He'll stick it out. Anarchy, anarchy. Show me a greater evil. This is why cities tumble and the great houses rain down. This is what scatters armies. No, no. Good lives are made so by discipline. We keep the laws then, and the lawmakers, and no woman shall seduce us. If we must lose, let's lose to a man, at least. Is a woman stronger than we?
Unless time has rusted my wits, what you say, king, is said with point and dignity.
Boyishly earnest.
Father, reason is God's crowning gift to a man, and you are right to warn me against losing mine. I cannot say, I hope that I shall never want to say that you have reasoned badly. Yet there are other men who can reason too, and their opinions might be helpful. You are not in a position to know everything that people say or do, or what they feel. Your temper terrifies them. Everyone will tell you only what you like to hear, but I, at any rate, can listen, and I have heard them muttering and whispering in the dark about this girl. They say no woman has ever so unreasonably died so shameful a death for a generous act. She covered her brother's body. Is this indecent? She kept him from dogs and vultures. Is this a crime? Death? She should have all the honor that we can give her. This is the way they talk out there in the city. You must believe me. Nothing is closer to me than your happiness. What could be closer? Must not any son value his father's fortune as his father does his? I beg you, do not be unchangeable. Do not believe that you alone can be right. The man who thinks that, the man who maintains that only he has the power to reason correctly, the gift to speak, the soul, a man like that, when you know him, turns out empty. It is not reason never to yield to reason. In flood time, you can see how some trees bend, and because they bend, even their twigs are safe, while stubborn trees are torn up, roots and all, and the same thing happens in sailing. Make your sheet fast, never slacken, and over you go. Head over heels and under, and there's your voyage. Forget you are angry. Let yourself be moved. I know I am young, but please let me say this. The ideal condition would be, I admit, that men should be right by instinct. But since we are all too likely to go astray, the reasonable thing is to learn from those who can teach.